our first album was mixed by literally an eighth grader at the time.
Thanks for being an
Yeah.
eighth grader.
And he still makes music out here, and I see him all the time. Yeah, playing in the living room to the guy doing his dishes, like, really stuck with you. And then the next night I broke my foot. And
Yeah.
It's like, shoot.
Oh man, that was setting you up for the rest of the tour.
For sure.
Hey y'all, welcome back to City Limitless, where we explore Mesa and beyond its city boundaries. I'm your host, Ashley, and I'm really excited because I don't even know if I want to say this, but do we just say it?
Yeah.
I have somebody that I went to high school with on the podcast. It's only taken 30-something episodes to get here, and I feel like we're having full circle moments because we're both pursuing dreams that I don't even know if you could have told our high school selves what we were doing then that we would be doing now. But I'd like to introduce frontman of This Modern, Marcus Reardon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
How's it going?
Great.
I don't want like the polished podcast. Like I want chill. Well, let's get this started. So like I said, we both grew up in Mesa, like literally 9 days apart in the same hospital.
Isn't that? I didn't know that. That's
Actually,
crazy.
I didn't know that, but I knew we both had December birthdays, but I didn't realize like we could have bumped some fists.
How did you know that though? You just remember?
Maybe I did a social media drive.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Like,
that would make sense.
I got to do some
research.
research.
You did your research. Okay, I'm with that.
I'm a researcher, trust me.
92,
baby.
92.
We're the old youngins.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're right on the cusp. I feel so old and young at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I want to get into this. We grew up in Mesa, like, not a lot was going on here, but the transformation of what it was years ago to what it is now is huge. And I feel like you have been a part of that transformation. Yeah. I want to dive into who Marcus is first and then go through the journey of your musical career because you've had so many different avenues, influences, and where you're at now. Yeah. So let's just get into it.
Yeah.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Marcus Reardon. I was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona, went to Mountain View High School. I started making music like officially in 2010. Okay. Late 2010, my first ever mixtape when I was a rapper dropped New Year's Day 2011, and I was rapping with Justin Tutrone. I don't know if you remember Justin Tutrone. We were in like a little rap duo, and we were terrible, but we used to, senior year, we would go off campus to lunch, like, let's call it Barrows, the Barrows right there, and we'd pull up, somebody would like play a beat in their car, and we'd all come with raps that we had prepared, and everybody was terrible, but there were two of us that kind of had a feel for cadence and flow and just kind of had a natural, I don't know, niche for it. And we decided we were going to start making music. And so one of our buddies, his dad had a recording studio in the basement, and his little brother knew how to work it all. And we started recording, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was so cool. And a couple years later, I created my own studio in my house and started releasing projects, and it was going really well, and that's when I met up with the band, and it kind of changed gears altogether.
Yeah. Well, I want to backtrack.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You were in choir.
Yeah, I was.
Right?
Yeah.
So you would truly say that your musical talent started in choir.
Even before that, like I used to play the drums and the trumpet, like in middle school and things like that. And so I have a super musical family on my father's side, at least. And my whole family ran the music at our Catholic church here in Mesa. Okay. And so forever, I always loved music, and I was around a bunch of really talented musicians, and I knew that at some point I was going to pursue it. I just didn't know how or what, so it took some time to figure all that out. But yeah, I've always, music has been a huge part of my life since I was a kid.
Yeah. Sure. Now tell me about some of your influences. Like you've got to have somebody that you've admired. Oh,
for sure. My music taste is just like super duper eclectic, but the first CD I ever bought was Little Bow Wow, way back in the day. It's called Beware of Dog, and he was wearing like a Cleveland Browns jersey with a pit bull on a leash, and I just thought, wow, like it was the first time I saw it could be done by like a young kid, right? And so kind of gave me that confidence to pursue it. But I think Mac Miller is my favorite artist of all time. My favorite band of all time is My Chemical Romance. I love Good Charlotte, and I love Blink-182, and I love Simple Plan, who I ended up getting to meet years later. And so yeah, it's all over the place, which I think you can hear a lot of in my music. I think we're crossing a lot of genres, but that's mostly because I grew up listening to everything.
Yeah, well, and that doesn't narrow your path. It
for
keeps
sure.
you open to anything and everything. And like you said, you started with rapping, you know, and now where your band is at now, totally different. Yeah. Tell me about the transition from being a rapper to a musician. Not that rap isn't a
Yeah,
musician, but
for sure. It's different. There's nuances to both of them. One of my cousins, Thomas, was opening up a studio here in downtown Mesa. It's so funny how it always
all comes
loops
back
back.
downtown.
But it's a recording complex called Mind's Eye. Not sure if anyone's familiar with that, but basically there's a bunch of rooms in there just like this, and bands are renting out rooms, and some bands are rehearsing there, some bands are recording there. There's a stage. They used to have shows there and stuff like that. But they were opening up a studio, so my cousin Thomas was like, hey, why don't you come just check it out? He was like, come see what I'm building over here. I'm trying to start a band. I'm trying to start this studio. And so I went, and they were showing me all these like heavy metal demos that they were working on. And me being the rapper I was like, this is so far out of my league. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Sure.
They're like, do you think you could rap on one of these? I said, yeah, absolutely. Let me try it. And so we made this song. It was the first time I had ever been on a rock song ever. Mm-hmm. And that same day they asked if I was like willing to be in a band with them, and I just say yes to stuff and I regret it later, but I just said, yeah, let's do it. And best decision I ever made. My cousin Thomas, ironically enough, ended up quitting the band like a few months into it. And we weren't this modern at that point. We were called South of Jerome, and then we rebranded again, and then we rebranded again, and then we rebranded again until we landed on this modern at some point. And that's when things just like have started taking off finally. But
sure,
yeah, it's one of those things. It's been like a decade plus in the making. Like I said, 2011 was my first album. So
wow, we're feeling old, but it's very cool to like hear from like that religious aspect to now what is a modern day, this modern, right? And all the different influences, the people, the music, the different genres that have morphed you into who and what you're doing now today. And I want to talk about, you know, like you said, it all kind of comes back down to Main Street, right? Like we grew up here, not a lot was going on, but we've watched the evolution of this small town like really boom. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I think, what is it? We have the most breweries in like a square mile.
No way.
Who would have thought in Mesa that we would have had that in downtown of all places,
crazy.
Right?
Super crazy.
Now, I want to talk about Mesa Music Fest.
Yeah.
You're a frequent flyer there.
Yeah.
You've won a couple things also at the Mesa Film Fest.
Yeah.
Talk to me about getting involved in those two festivals.
Well, we all know Indian, right? And he's one of a kind. He's one of one. Ultimately, my manager, Amy, I don't even know how got connected to Indian. And she said, I met this guy and he runs festivals on the East Coast, but he wants to bring a music festival to downtown Mesa of all places. Yeah. And he's like, he got connected with me and this puts you guys in a position like we could spearhead this. And so I said, okay. I went to a party right over by the Cubs Spring Training Stadium, the hotel that's right there. I think it's a Hilton. Either way, there was like a meet and greet happening there. So I met Indian and met a bunch of people, and it was all just figuring out how are we going to throw a music festival here in downtown Mesa? And we just became like his number one band to lean on, and started giving us awesome opportunities from the very first year. So when I retired my rap act as teammate Marcus, it was at the Mesa Music Festival, and then the next night we debuted This Modern at the Mesa Music Festival on the main stage. Yeah. So it was like such this opportunity to, again, like close one chapter and start a new one in the same weekend. And the year after that, we got to open for Hoobastank on the main stage, which was incredible. But my favorite for sure was the one we did a couple years ago. Everclear was the
headliner for that one.
I'm not an Everclear fan necessarily. I'm super familiar, but I mean, it was like 3,000 people there. Still the biggest show I ever got to play in my life. And it was so special because my dad is a 65-year-old man and doesn't necessarily come to all my gigs. Yeah. And he came and he brought his best friend and his wife, and it was just incredible. I think it was surreal for him to see me for 3,000 people, and I called him out, and he just got rushed at the beer line. He was like, everyone was like, you're his dad, you're his dad. And so it was just a super special moment for him to be able to see that. And I think to this day, it's probably still the biggest show we have ever played, but it was incredible. I owe so much to Indian and my manager, Amy, but just right place, right time. Yeah. That's really all I can say. And Indian has done so much for me. We almost got signed to Red Bull Records years ago because of the Mesa Music Festival. Wow. We met with their, their A&R, their talent guy, at that same hotel, the Hilton. And I was convinced my life was going to change. And it did to an extent, but not quite in the way that I thought. And then Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park, who passed away, R.I.P., before we took that meeting with the Red Bull guy, she was meeting with him and eating with him. So I got to meet her very briefly on her way out before that meeting. And so it was just like, I couldn't believe that our little Mesa was like doing all this.
Well, and you were getting it on the map, and you were a part of being on that map.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Something I'm super duper proud of. And but yeah, it all leads back to Main Street. It's crazy how that happens.
Now, I want to know, what are some pre-show jitters like that you do to get those out before you're hitting a stage, regardless of size of your audience?
Tequila is probably, I don't know if I can say that.
You have no rituals?
Yeah, not really.
5
no.
shots.
I mean, I like to drink before the shows. I'm trying to think of anything else. Nothing really. I always have my fiance back there, and I'm a pacer. I'm a very anxious person anyways, and so I pace and I pace. I'll look at myself in the mirror and just be like, "You're him."
Hype yourself up.
Yeah, super hype myself up. I like to think about my grandparents. I know that sounds so cheesy, but I always think real quick about my grandparents and how proud they would be of me, and then any anxious nerves just turn into straight up confidence, and we put on an awesome show. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot it. Like, you should kill live.
Yeah.
No matter what, if the room is empty or if it's big, 3,000 people I think was my biggest, and it's just been such a blessing, and it's the one thing that I've been like elite at in my life. Average student, average everything I've ever done, you know.
But
average
you're excelling
athlete,
in something that you've
for sure
touched you your whole life.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I started making it, it was like, this is finally like what I feel like I need to be doing and pursuing. And so, yeah, I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's been such a blessing.
Now, you mentioned before we started recording that you had won an award at the Mesa Film Fest. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we did a 2-part music video for 2 songs that we had, where one music video ended and the other one picked off, and it was like 2 videos, but it was the same story, and it was really cool. It was directed by a videographer that used to live out here named Chase Warren, and we used the light rail. I don't know if we had a permit for it, but we used the light rail, and it was shot right here in downtown Mesa. And so there was a music video category. I think there probably still is a music video category, but we submitted and we went to the viewing and stuff like that, and we ended up winning. There's a coffee shop somewhere on the street. I forget the name of it, but that's where they held the awards, and they gave us like a cool little reel, and it's still hanging up in our studio today. But it was for 2 of our songs. One was called Maniacal and one was called Symphonies, but like I said, one led into the other, and it was a cool little concept.
Now, tell me about one of your most memorable moments that you've ever had on stage. I know you mentioned something with your dad, and that has to hit a memory, but what other moments have just stuck with you?
This one stuck with me for all the wrong reasons. We were in St. Louis playing a gig. We were on a tour. We were going all the way to the New Jersey Shore Festival for Indians Festival out there. And so we were going all across the country, and we had a show in St. Louis, Missouri. And I jumped up and I came down weird on a wire, just like a regular wire, and I broke my foot right there on stage. Yeah, and I knew immediately.
Please tell me you played it off.
Oh yeah, I'm limping around, and I looked at Amy, my manager, and I was like, but we finished the song, and I literally did the rest of the set just sitting on the side of the stage. So we ended up going, but we went back into the van afterwards, and my foot was just exploded, black and blue, disgusting, like so gross. And we ended up going to urgent care, and I did the rest of the tour in a walking boot.
Wow.
Including New York City, which is a lot of walking around the city, and the Jersey Shore Fest, and I think it was Philadelphia after that, and then we were coming home. But yeah, I had to play the rest of the tour in that walking boot, and that's one of my favorites. There's another one from that same tour. We played a show in Kansas City, Missouri, and we weren't familiar with the venue, but it had really good reviews online, and we weren't sure. And we pulled up, and it was a house.
Oh.
It wasn't even a venue at all. It was a home. And so there were like 2 local bands who brought a few people. It was a really small show. It was in a living room.
Like you legit played there.
Yeah. And by the time we got on, everyone had left. Except for the guy who owned the house, who was in the kitchen doing dishes. Literally doing dishes. And so we're like, screw it. We're playing it anyways. And we played to one man.
Good content, though, right?
And he was doing his dishes, and it's just one of those, that was our first ever tour that we ever did. So it's like you have a lot of those hard times in small rooms and things like that. But yeah, playing the living room to the guy doing his dishes, like really stuck with you. And then the next night I broke my foot. It was like, shoot.
Oh man, that was setting you up for the rest of the tour.
For sure.
Now tell me about who would be 3 of your dream musical collabs, dead or alive.
Mac Miller, 100%. I think is just the biggest inspiration in my life, on more levels than one. I just think he's incredible.
Just to say, you're not the first guest that I've had this season that is throwing out Mac Miller.
He's the
man. I didn't realize how much this guy resonated with people. Oh my
gosh, it's crazy. My favorite musician to ever live. And shortly after he died, a buddy of mine actually had somehow like an unreleased demo of his that was super rough, and I keep it on my phone. Whoa. And I was told very specifically, do not share it with anyone. Sure. But so I hold that very near and dear to my heart. I'd put him number 1. After that, I'd probably have to say Meghan Trainor.
Oh,
I love.
Okay, but would you be bringing back your rap alter ego, or this modern, or a mixture of both?
Maybe a little bit of both, whatever she wants, or I could just write a song for her. So
okay.
I've been doing so much songwriting recently for country artists and EDM artists and pop artists, and me and my buddy just wrote a song called Main Character Energy that I think Meghan Trainor would like destroy.
Pitch it.
Yeah, so my publishing company is trying to do whatever they can to get a hold of anybody, but
sure.
So I'm gonna go Meghan Trainor. Okay. I think that's kind of one you wouldn't expect.
No, not at all.
And then after that, probably Hardy, the country artist Hardy.
Yeah.
I think he's such a beast, and I've been writing so much country music, and I don't feel like I'm the right artist to release it, but I think country music has become so close-knit, it's really hard to break in, but I would love to. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the mind and the writer behind so many of Morgan Wallen's biggest hits and so many of like the biggest country artists in the world.
You're speaking my language now.
I'm going to go Hardy, Meghan Trainor, and Mac Miller.
I just want to get the 4 of you in a room together now. Could you imagine the magic you guys would make?
I can't imagine.
Now, speaking of songwriting, I didn't know you were going into that. I mean, you do write songs, but writing music for other artists is totally a different talent. Sure. Where do you get your inspiration from?
It really just depends. I like to write a ton and then take a little bit of time off to let life kind of happen. I find if I just force myself in a room, I'm not living any experiences, and I don't have anything to pull from. Yeah. So I'll go through months at a time where I'm writing 6-7 songs a week, and then just kind of take a break or go on a vacation or whatever. But it depends. It could be family drama I'm going through. If I'm feeling sappy, I'll write a love song. But then a lot of times with my publishing company, which is like a new thing that I'm doing, they'll have requests that come into them, and they'll say, hey, we need a song for a female singer, or we need a beach themed EDM song, or a hip hop themed EDM song. And so a lot of times it's like a challenge. Every time I walk in, I never know what like to expect or who's looking for what. But other than that, just a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah. How do you prepare to be in that headspace for these different requests?
I just walk in ready to rock and roll, dude. I just don't try not to overthink it.
Yeah.
You know,
just let it flow.
Yeah, for sure. Analysis. What do they call it? Paralysis by analysis. If you're sitting there overthinking, you're gonna get stuck. Yeah. And being willing to like listen to other people's ideas, because I have a way of like leading a session, but if someone's got an idea, you feed off of that, and you try to be open to whatever. So there's nothing I do necessarily. I just open to anything, down for whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just make some hits.
What is some advice that you would give to an up-and-coming artist or songwriter?
I would say, like, just be prepared to strike out. Always. And especially in music, you're going to strike out way more than you're going to hit. And if we're going on baseball terms, like, not every hit has to be a home run. Like, it's okay to celebrate the small wins, so to speak, but just be prepared. Like, I've had so many times where I was convinced a song or an album or a project was going to change my life forever, and it didn't. And that disappointment sucks. Yeah. So just go in with low expectations. Try not to get too many steps ahead. Take it one step at a time. But have thick skin and just be prepared to strike out more than you're going to hit, for sure.
I love that. Yeah. Now, pizza or tacos after a show?
Tacos. Tacos Chihuas.
Ooh.
Tacos Chihuas.
Zinger. Well, that leads me into what are 3 of your favorite hot spots in Mesa to eat at?
Tacos Chihuas is easy number 1.
1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, easy number 1. I think, what are they called? The little gorditas that they do are just unreal.
To die for.
I've always loved Pedal House, and I've got one right next to where I live there, and it's new over here. But I love Pedal House. I love so many of their beers. But I think they also have a great kitchen, and I think that's a hot spot. Trying to think where else outside of downtown Mesa, potentially. Well, let's just go 12 West. Since we're right here,
we're right
12
here.
West rocks too.
I
got to play their speakeasy a couple years ago too, which I thought was a really cool vibe. I think it's an awesome thing that they've got going on down there. But let's go 12 West, Tacos Chihuas. Yeah, that and Pedal House. And Pedal House.
I love that.
Let's go with that.
Now let's just wrap this up. Tell me about your dream venue that you would love to play at.
Red Rocks in Colorado, without a doubt.
Pretty epic.
Super epic.
Pretty epic.
Super duper epic, and God only knows, man, what's gonna happen. But I think that would be just the coolest opportunity in the world. The footage that you see from concerts there is just so dumb.
Unreal.
I remember crying to a Zach Bryan one I saw just recently where it was raining and they're all singing and I started crying. I cry a lot. When it comes to music, I'll cry.
You're intuitive, right?
Have to.
Now, what does the future look like for you and This Modern?
For me, I'm trying to find a way to make music my full-time income, my full-time everything. So whether that's songwriting, we have a ton of This Modern music. I think a collaboration EP with a good friend of mine's band called Through Waves we're going to be doing. And like I said, with any luck, I'm going to have some DJs from out of the country who have purchased like vocals of mine.
Wow.
That are going to be releasing songs with my vocals on them that are going to be in raves and stuff like that, which I'm really excited about. My number 1 goal is to get a really good country music placement this year. I've got so much awesome country music that I think in the right hands could be incredible.
Hey, maybe you need to take a swing at it yourself.
Yeah, I have it all recorded. It's pretty good. I'm still working on my country twang a little bit, but
that Southwest Mesa twang hasn't kicked in yet.
No, I don't think so. But more songs, more music, more everything. We'll see.
Now tell me about the country music. I'm a country music fan. You said that you have songs, you have them recorded.
I have a ton.
Tell me about this. Have you gone to Nashville?
Yeah, so a friend of a friend of a friend is a songwriter out there. And we were hoping she was a little more connected than she was, and so nothing crazy has come of anything. My number 1 biggest collaborator right now is an artist called Futuristic, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's a rapper. Also, no, he's from Tempe, technically.
Oh, wow.
But he's massively successful. He was really big in like the early 2010s. But he still makes a ton of music, and he was on Unholy. He's a huge part of why we have had a lot of success. And he was on Billie Eilish and all those songs that have done really, really well.
Wow.
But we got connected when he started making rock music. But funny enough, this guy is super plugged in with Jelly Roll.
I mean, it makes sense. His background is rap.
And when Jelly Roll was still a rapper, he'd come to Arizona and stay at his house. And so I'm like a person away from Jelly Roll. And so we made plans to go to Nashville to do all that with Jelly Roll. And it was going to be super exciting. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but he's like one of the most famous people on the planet at the moment. And so it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be at one time when we kind of had this idea. So yeah, with any luck, I'm putting it out there. We're going to get the Jelly Roll plug, and I'm going to be able to get in some rooms. It's just one thing at a time. And like I said, sometimes you're only one person away. And with the Jelly Roll thing, I have so much hope and faith that maybe something will come of it.
Don't stop.
Yeah, no.
Don't stop.
No,
keep swinging.
never,
Let the doors keep opening, even
Right.
if they lead you down every other path that you don't want it
For
to.
sure.
Right?
Yep.
Now, Marcus, I'm so excited that you came here.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much for taking your
Of
time.
course.
It's been fun to see a familiar face and kind of catch up. And
Yeah.
learn about all the great things that you were doing and something that you're so passionate about. I can feel it. And
you got to come out to a show.
Now I have to come out to a show.
Mm-hmm.
I will go.
Yep.
I was checking it out. I was like, all right, got to get my butt out of the house.
Talk to your sister.
I'll come talk to my sister.
Talk
we'll go to a show.
It.
We'll reconnect if we can get that VIP hookup.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
I got you guys.
Side stage or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that looks like.
I'll get you some merch.
Yeah, merch. There we go.
Some shirts.
Have to bring my 3-year-old, get her involved in the scene.
Maybe
Who
she
knows?
likes it. Maybe she's a musician.
I'll let her stay out. You know what? She actually really likes singing. She grabs like our guitar stand and she calls it her microphone.
How cool is that?
So, and she's never seen like a real microphone. So I don't know.
Bring her to the studio. We'll do the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
I have a friend. Sorry to keep
rambling.
You're
good. Keep going.
I have a friend who has a kid, and he is like really musically gifted from a super early age, and already knows how to make beats on his computer. And so we keep taking him over like a few times and teaching him so much.
Really?
And showing him how to take the beat and put it on this computer and put it in a session and mix it down. And I've even rapped on one of his beats just so that he could go to school and show everybody. So yeah.
Could you just imagine the technology that we have right now today, like back in 2010, if we had that, like what your life would have been like?
It would have been crazy. And I think a lot of it did exist. I just didn't know how to use it.
Sure.
And when our first album was mixed by literally an eighth grader at the time.
Thanks for being an eighth grader.
And he still makes music out here, and I see him all the time.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Hey, you're staying in the
Mesa.
scene. Mesa. It all comes back to downtown right here.
The biggest small town in America. I'm telling you.
Trademark it.
Yeah.
Maybe your next album title.
Maybe.
There you go.
Probably not.
You heard it here first. All right, Marcus. Well, it was so good to see you. Thank you again, and we'll catch a show soon. Peace. Oh, and before we wrap up, I want people to find out where can they come see you out at.
I don't have anything
your socials
booked. Yeah, follow us on social media. Follow us at this MDRN. You can follow me at MDRN Marcus. But yeah, stay tuned. We've got so much coming up, and we make a lot of funny content. I don't know. We have a lot of funny skits and stuff like that. We're trying to just play around and have fun with it. Content is so boring, so you might as well have some fun with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're trying our best.
All right. Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
That's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye. I need somewhere to escape to. Mesa, that's where I feel free.